Have you ever felt like someone was taking you for granted or taking advantage of you? Do you feel that somebody's deliberately disregarding and disrespecting you? Well, chances are you are right. In this video, I will share with you 10 things you can do to earn and gain a man's respect. If you are excited about this video, go ahead and like, subscribe to this channel, and hit that notification bell so you can get other dope content such as this. Okay, before we jump into that, let me just take a minute to introduce myself. My name is Jill Bullock, and I am a life and manifestation coach, helping you to create really just a life that you truly love, manifest the love and happiness that you not only desire, but that you truly deserve. Because listen, you are worth it. I definitely have been in a situation where I felt like I've been being disrespected in a relationship. And one specific situation comes to mind as I think about it right now. And I was dating this guy, and initially we ended up going like to a basketball game. And I didn't really know. He was like, "Oh, where are you gonna go?" I was like, "Oh, I don't know." It's like, "Okay, listen, I got tickets to the game. Let's go." And then after the game, and I was new to the area. And after the game, he was like, "Oh, where do you want to go to eat? Legal seafood, da 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 da." And I heard that legal seafood wasn't all that good, so I was like, I don't know about legal seafood. I heard it's not that good, and I was excited to know that there was a Chipotle in the area. And so I ended up just saying, "Hey, you know what? Let's just go to Chipotle." And we went to Chipotle, and I was so satisfied and so happy. But like the next day, and like after that point, I could just tell that he was just like just doing little slick stuff, like even when we were on the metro, like he was reading the paper and like just kind of like trying to ignore me, act like he wasn't paying any attention. And I'm like, okay, something ain't right. And so in that moment, I know that, listen, this wasn't the situation for me. I end up stop talking to that guy because I'm like, I ain't got time for this. But sometimes, depending on the situation, you may decide that you want to stop talking to the person, or you may decide that you want to continue to talk to the person. But you have to weigh it, because you got to be careful in these situations, because you don't want to be in a situation where somebody is just so comfortable, disregarding and disrespecting you. But there are some things that you can do. So let's jump right into it. Number one, if he does or say something that is disrespectful, listen. If then he tries to lie about it, then you need to stand your ground and call him out on the lie. And if he continues to lie, then you just need to remove yourself from the situation. Because sometimes it's like what people do is they'll try to manipulate you and try to make you think that you're crazy or that you don't know what you're talking about, when you know what you're talking about. So it's just best not to even try to argue. The word of God says, don't argue with a fool, because it's a waste of time. So let's just chop that up for number one. All right. Number two, never chase a guy who's not chasing you. So that's like just a big thing. Men are supposed to be like more predators by nature. And so he really should be coming for you, whether that's calling, whether that's texting, or whatever situation. And this really applies even in dating, but even if you're in a relationship, this really should apply. You shouldn't feel like you have to always come for this guy. Give him the same energy that he's giving you. You give him that same energy, right? Because as a woman, we shouldn't be like, oh, trying to pursue this guy. Like, who got time for that? So if they're not giving you that energy, you don't give them the energy. Now, if he's chasing you, it's okay for you to engage with him as well, but it should be reciprocal. But if you see you messaging him, he ain't responding, or whatever the case may be, then just cut your losses and keep it moving. Number three, the three thing I want to tell you, when you put a standard or boundary out there, like say, oh, I'm not going to tolerate this, or oh, this is not, I don't do this, or I don't do that, then you have to follow through. Even if you like, whatever the case may be, and it can be so many things, right? Maybe you said, maybe y'all had some plans to do something, but then he did something slick that you told him that was a boundary for you, or you told him was a standard for you. Then you may have to cancel the plan. Like, don't be afraid to walk out or walk away from a situation, because when you allow somebody to disrespect you, guess what they're going to do? Continue to disrespect you. People are going to treat you as you allow them to treat you. So you have to stand your ground and stand your guard and be like, look, listen, I'm not going to tolerate that. Like, I'm good. Period. So let's get to number four. Listen to your gut every day of your life, every day, all day. When it comes to your gut, and sometimes like you will get even physiological signs, whether that's a tightening in the stomach, you may get a heartbeat, you may feel like some heat, you may feel a certain type of thing that's happening physiologically to your body, or you may just feel an uncture to do something. And in those moments, you have to understand, when your gut is speaking to you, it's really are giving you an indication. That's really God's way of navigating you through this thing called life. And so don't ever turn off your God positioning system, which is your gut, that's really trying to lead you and trying to show you the way. Because when I think about it, my gut has never led me wrong, never, like never. And so, and it's just human nature is just something about us that we can't always, maybe like mentally you may can't calculate it, emotionally you may can't calculate it, but it's just an instant that we have, that instinct in us that we have, that you really want to make sure you're sensitive to that and making sure you're quieting yourself enough that you can sense those things and know when you need to take action. Which really leads me right to number 5, which is, as a result of that, you also should be assertive. So if you feel that unction to say something, if you feel that unction to respond to something, say it. Don't be afraid to create conflict. Don't be afraid that if I say this, they may be offended or they may, say certain things about me. No, if you have that unction, listen to that unction and speak your mind, say what you got to say, and don't worry about what that person's opinion is going to be about you. Because at the end of the day, truly, other people's opinion of you is really none of your business, right? And it's like more important that you stand up for yourself and know who you are than to try to conform or trying to please or accommodate. And sometimes I can even say like, oh, I don't want to be drama, or I don't want to be whatever. But if that thing really bothers you, if that thing really irritates you, or you really are questioning that thing, whatever that thing is, or that action, or that what they said, then it is absolutely in your best interest to do so, like, period. All right, so I went over 5 things so far. Let me know, what are you thinking? Have you experienced any of this? If so, how did you respond? Did you respond in a way that I'm saying? Did you respond in a different way? And then just kind of tell me what the 411, what's the situation? I would love to know. Okay. And also, if by now you have not liked this video and subscribed to this channel, what are you doing with your life? What you doing with your life? Let me know. Okay. All right, you guys. So let's go into number 6. Number 6. This one is so important. I want to encourage you to respect yourself. Right? How to say, put a little bit of respect on my name, put a little bit of respect on your own name. And how do you do this? This is really important. Like if you don't hear anything else I'm saying, hear what I'm saying right now. This is important for you to get clear on what you will tolerate and what you will not tolerate, what you want and need, and don't negotiate or settle for that. If you feel like that's not them, then you know what? Then that's not the relationship for you. Because if that's really what you want, it's important to ask for that and expect that person to show up. And when they fall short, then to separate yourself in a relationship. One of my good friends told me, he's like, if you don't know where you're going, it don't matter how you're going to get there. And that's so important, even in a relationship. Is so you need to take time to get clear. What are my needs? What do you want that to look like, physically, in terms of intimacy, in terms of conversation? Like, what are some of the visions you have about what that relationship will look like for you? Because what I know for sure is that if you don't have clarity about what that relationship will look like, then it becomes like a vague picture in your mind. And then it just becomes like free fall, whatever happens. And then you may turn back and look and be like, well, hold on, I wanted more of this. I wanted more the whole time. But for whatever reason, I didn't even know that more was available to me. And so you just end up settling, not even knowing. And so that's like the worst thing. Okay. Number 7, stand up for yourself and don't be afraid to share your opinion. So if you have an opinion, voice your opinion, use your voice. God's given it to you. I believe that, we all have, we're mouthpieces of God, right? I believe in Jeremiah 1:5, where he says that we were born prophets to this nation. And so you have something to say. What you have to say is valuable, it's important. And so don't ever back down in sharing your perspective and opinions about a matter or whatever the case may be, to own and take up your own space. Do that, because you owe it to yourself, you owe it to the world to be the salt and be the light. And one of the ways we do that, we can't be hidden. We got to be exposed and we got to show up. Okay. Number 8, demonstrate your brilliance. Right? I believe that you have brilliance in you. I believe you have greatness in you, right? So with that being said, you may have certain knowledge about a current event or about even a historical event, or maybe even you've learned new words or your language or whatever the case may be, something you've read that you want to share. Don't be afraid to present that and share that, to show that you are constantly working and developing intellectually, and that's a value for you. And that you're showing up in that way, because you'll be surprised, but sometimes people can be shallow and try to judge you, or otherwise try to, even especially with men, sometimes think they're superior over women because of their gender, because of whatever. We know it's not true, because we out degreeing and doing a lot of stuff more than men, but You know, and so many other things. So we know that's not true, but perception does become the reality. And so you have to make sure that you are rising to the occasion with that perception and projecting yourself in such a way that that is shown, that your brilliance is demonstrated. Okay, two more things for you guys. Okay, number 9, show a little independence, right? Whether that is if you need to put up a table or assemble a bench, or maybe even just changing out the light bulb or your fire alarm battery or whatever the case may be. You don't want to be overly dependent on him to do every little thing. So some things you can just do it yourself. And so now I like, I got stories for days. I'm not even going to talk about it. But even that's when, like, if you're dating somebody and perhaps if you get a flat tire, your natural instinct shouldn't be just to call them up and say, hey, can you help me change this tire? No, you may need to make sure you have your AAA in place or whatever roadside assistance that you have. And even less, dropping off to the airport, whatever that may be. Don't show an over reliance. Yes, there's times when you want to show a man that that he's needed and all of that, but you don't want to be over dependent that it may seem like you're overly needy in any way, because we know we're not. Okay. Number 10 is the last one. This is important to you guys. Okay. It's another one that's really important. I want to encourage you to have a full life, have a well-rounded life. Now, I'll be the first one to say that I have been guilty of like just throwing myself totally into my business, totally in my career. And listen, my name is Jill Bullock, and I can have an addictive personality. Okay. Just to be honest. And so with that, sometimes I found myself, throwing myself into my work or whatever the case may be. Well, listen, this is the thing. All work and no play is not good. It's not healthy from an emotional standpoint, from a balance standpoint, and really just having a full life. And like, how long can you sustain that? If you're not careful, you can go months, if not years, just working, and not taking time to breathe, not taking time to recharge, not taking time to rejuvenate, and all of these things. And so you got to take that time, because you want to make sure that you can be like kind of doing a little bit of self-neglect to some degree, right? You could be neglecting yourself in terms of just the relaxation, of fun. You can be neglecting yourself of needed self-care, of different pampering that you should be doing for yourself. And so I want to encourage you to make sure you have a full life. Make sure you are scheduling time to do things. And you don't even have to go like to the nail shop or whatever, even if you're just staying at home, polishing your toes, even if you decide to take a jacuzzi bath or whatever, if you got that luxury or tub or blah, blah, at your house, even if you decide to do something to your hair, maybe do like a facial, like take that time out to do those things. And in addition to that, like that self-care part of it, do something that you like to do, whether that's if you played sports before, maybe you want to get back into tennis, basketball, dance, or whatever that may be, and making sure you're connecting with your friends really on a weekly basis, really on a daily basis, right? For all my introverts out there, on a daily basis. And I know it can be tough because listen, I'd be like, the pandemic gave me an excuse not to talk to nobody, okay? Which I still talk to people, but I have to be even more intentional about fostering those relationships and contacting people and staying absolutely connected, because my emotional health depend on it. Statistically it's shown that we are more emotionally well when we are in contact with 3 or more people a day. And so that should be like your minimum, from all my introverts out there, that should be your minimum quota a day, is to make sure you make contact with at least 3 people each day for your own mental health and well-being. And that's all I have to say about that. All right. Let me know how this video has been for you. Drop down in the comments. Did I miss anything? Let me know. And also let me know if there's any other videos that you would like me to make. Like I said, my focus is shifting a little bit. I used to do a lot on dating, and I still am doing quite a bit on dating. Yes. However, I'm also really focusing on that personal development is where I'm pivoting to. So if anything that you would like me to share as it pertains to life, let's just say relationships and personal development, okay? Drop it in the comments. Let me know, and I will make a video. If I can make the topic work, I'll make the video and release it so the content can be available on this page and support you. Okay, that's my time. So until next time, be blessed. Have a great day.